Welcome to the Idiot's Guide. I'm Mackie Hall, and there are lots of times that we need to show our art in practice. That's where Illustrator and its 3D tools come in. So right now we're going to show you how to do exactly that with a 3D box package. All right, but before you start, there are a few things that you need to know. First, have an idea of the panels you'll want to create. Next, have a clear idea of the names of each panel. Third, have a very specific idea on the measurement that you're going to want to have for each panel. Once you're done with that, you're going to build each panel out. And once you're done building each panel, group each separate element. Once you're done, this is where Illustrator's 3D tools come in. We're going to build the thing out. All right, now that we've got that out of the way, this is the file that we're going to be working with. Want to use it? Click on the link below. That a little self-serving? Heck yeah, it's my video. Not only is it my video, but it is a killer one. Subscribe to see a few more. All right, with that being said, let's go. All right, let's get started. First thing you'll notice is we've got our sample template on screen. Once again, if you want to use this sample template, by all means do. All you need to do is go to the link below and download your file. Now, if you've created it and want to use your own template, by all means do. Here's my recommendation on setting up your template. We're going to create a new document. And note that my new document will have a width of 1,000 points, a height of 1,000 points, and 2 artboards, not one. We're going to have 2 this time around. And then if you scroll down, we are going to be using the RGB color mode. Now, if you're going to go to print, CMYK all the way. Let's go ahead and close this. And let's get started. Now, before we get started, I want to mention a couple of things. First thing is that we're using the Essentials Classic workspace. To switch on over to the Essentials Classic workspace, all you need to do is click on Switch Workspaces and select Essentials Classic. Now, you don't need to use Essentials Classic. This is just modeling after the video that we're building right now. If you don't, no problem. I'll tell you exactly where to get any windows and tools that you might need. Next thing I want to mention is that we are using Smart Guides. This is pretty important. To activate Smart Guides, all you need to do is go to View, Smart Guides, or select Control U. Next thing I want to mention is that we're using the bottom center of the page to highlight key command recommendations, hotkey recommendations, and tips and tricks. Now, we are building this piece on a PC. That means if you're using a Mac or Apple device, anytime we recommend the Control key, use the Command key instead. Again, Command equals Control. Now, with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. All right, as you can see, we've got our template set in front of us. If you're not using the provided template and are using your own, a quick reminder, for all the individual panels on your template, be sure that they are grouped together. Notice when I select the top panel, everything's grouped together. Front panel, everything is grouped together. It's going to be extremely helpful in creating the symbols that we're going to need for this piece. All right, with that in mind, let's go ahead and create those symbols. How are we going to do that? First thing we're going to do is we're going to open our symbols window. You can do it a couple ways. If you're using Essentials Classic, you can go to your right menu here and click on the Symbols window to open. I'm going to go ahead and close that. Another way to do it, you can go to your Window menu on the toolbar, select that, and scroll down to Symbols. Or, of course, you can use the key command, Shift-Control-F11. Let's go ahead and click on that. Now that we've got that, let's go ahead and create our 6 individual symbols reflecting each individual panel. First thing we're going to do is we're going to select our top panel. We're going to click and drag it over there into the Symbols window. We're going to release. And when the Symbols Options window pops up, let's go ahead and name our new symbol Top. Let's change our export type from Movie Clip to Graphic. And then with Symbol Type, let's go ahead and select Static Symbol. Let's click OK. And let's do the same thing for our bottom panel. Let's click and drag that into our Symbols window. And then when the Symbol Options window pops up, let's rename this bottom. Let's change our export type once again from Movie Clip to Graphic. And then let's change our symbols type from Dynamic Symbol to Static Symbol. Let's click OK. And let's go ahead and deselect. Now that we've done that, let's go ahead and create symbols for the other 4 panels. We'll start with back. We'll go to left, front, and right. All right, now that we've created all our individual panel symbols from our sample, we don't need that anymore. So let's go ahead and close our symbols window. And then let's move on over to our second artboard. We don't need our first artboard anymore. How do we move on over there? Of course, we could scroll on over there, but let's do it the easy way. With our selection tool selected, let's go ahead and click on it. Let's go ahead and click on our second artboard, and let's bring the artboard into view by clicking Control-0. Let's go ahead and create that 3D cube that's going to ultimately be our package. Let's go. The first thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and grab our rectangle tool. Let's click anywhere on our artboard, and let's go ahead and enter in the width. This time around, we're going to enter 3 inches for the width. And don't worry about if our page is set up in points, because once we tab off it, check it out, notice it translates 3 inches back to points. Now, if you want to use inches as your default measurement, by all means, you can do that. All you need to do is go into your preferences menu and change it from there. All right, the next thing we're going to do is let's go ahead and change our height to 5 inches. Again, we'll write in 5 inches. We'll tab off it, and you can see it changed it from 5 inches to 360 points. There's 72 points to an inch. You can do the math. Let's go ahead and click OK. Next, let's go ahead and make sure that our rectangle has no stroke and a colored fill. All right, notice right away we're good to go on the stroke. Let's double click on our fill. And let's change our fill to any color. This time around, I'm going to select a blue. That looks good right there. Let's go ahead and click OK. Once we're done with that, let's go ahead and align our rectangle to the center of our artboard. You can do that a couple ways. You can go up to the top bar and select Align Center from there if it's visible, or of course, you can bring up your line window. You do that by going to Window, Align, or Shift F7. We're going to be using the top bar. Let's deselect, and let's go ahead and click Align Center Horizontal and Align Center Vertical. Only reason we're doing that is to bring it to the center of the page. Just makes it easier to work with. Now that we've got the rectangle set, how do we make it a 3D cube? Well, it's a piece of cake, really. With our symbols still selected, let's go ahead and grab our selection tool. Just makes things easier for us. And let's go ahead and click on our appearance window. If you don't have your appearance window symbol visible on your right toolbar, let's go ahead and close this. Let's go ahead and open it through a window drop-down. Do that by clicking on Window. Let's go down to Appearance or Shift F6. Now, with our appearance window open and our rectangle selected, let's go ahead and go to the bottom center. Let's click Effects. Let's go select 3D and Materials, and let's select 3D Classic. Next, we'll select Extrude and Bevel and check out what happens to our rectangle. Right away, our rectangle has depth and has become a cube. Now, the first thing we want to do is we want to give our cube that 3-inch depth. Right now, if you look at it, it's only got a 50-point extrude depth by default. The way we change that is we go to extrude depth on the center of our panel, and let's go ahead and change that to 3 inches. Let's tab off it. Notice once again that it changed the extrude depth from inches to points, 260 points at that. Next thing you're going to notice is that our cube has no perspective. That's because our perspective has been set to 0, and that means our cube is set to parallel projection. Long story short, no matter how far away the perspective lines get from us, they'll never arrive at horizon. That means they'll never come together at a single point. Now that doesn't work because that does not match what the eye sees. So how do we fix that? Now we go to perspective and we change perspective from 0 to anything we want. In this case, I'm going to change it to a 40-point perspective. Let's tab off it. And that looks a little bit better. You can see the lines match what we normally see. Notice that at the top of our window, we've got a position of off-axis front. We can always click on that. We've got several different default positions. We can go front and bring to the front. We can go back. Of course, that'll bring the back. If we want to change positions to something a little bit more unique, we can go to off-axis back, off-axis left, right, off-axis top. Yeah, you get the drill all the way through. Now you can also click and drag your cube around and change positions manually, just like that. Now in this case, we're just going to go back to off-axis front, make sure the perspective stays at 40 degrees. It does. And we're ready to rock. And let's go ahead and add the art to our piece. How do we do that? Let's go to the bottom left and we'll select Map Art. And right away, you'll notice that we've got 6 different surfaces. That matches the 6 surfaces of our cube. Notice the red lines surrounding our front surface. that is the front of our piece. So let's go ahead and add art to that. Under symbol, let's go ahead and click on that. And remember the symbols that we added? Piece of cake, it's all there. Let's select front from our drop down. Right away, you'll notice we've added that. Let's keep going with that. Let's tab on over to our second surface. That's going to be our back surface. Let's go ahead and select back from our drop down. Next, let's tab on over to our next. And that's going to be our right panel. Take a look at how our panel is oriented. It's oriented horizontally instead of vertically. That's not a problem. That's just something we've got to live with in Illustrator. So what we're going to do is let's go ahead and select our symbol, and we're going to rotate it to fit that space. Let's go. Select right. And now that we've got that selected, notice that it doesn't work. So how do we fix that? Piece of cake. What we're going to do is we're going to hover over the bottom of our map art window. We'll click and drag it down to bring everything into view just like that. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to rotate our art to fit that space. All we do is we'll hover over our edge and we'll click and drag around just like that. Let's hold our shift key to move it in 45-degree increments. There you go. That's perfect right there. Now that's done. Let's keep going with the rest of it. Let's go to the bottom. We'll select symbol bottom. Notice that we're having the same problem with our left surface. No problem there. We're just going to reorient once again. Let's go to symbol. We'll select left. And let's enter. And you can see right away that our symbol does not fit the space properly. So how do we fix that? Once again, we're going to hover over one of the corners until we get the rotate symbol. We'll click, drag. We'll hold our shift key to get a perfect rotation. And then once we get it right, let's release. That's exactly what we want right there. Let's continue. Last but not least, we've got our top panel. Let's go ahead and select top from there. And there we go. We've got all our panels on our cube. However, notice that with that being filled in, it doesn't have any real life qualities. Why is that? Because our artwork is not shaded. So how do we fix that? We just go to the bottom of our map art window. Let's click on shade artwork. And that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and click OK. Now our package does look pretty good. However, I think the shading is just a little bit too deep. So how do we fix that? No problem. We'll select more options. And once our window expands, we can play with it just a little bit. Now we can change all kinds of elements to our surface. We can change our light source. Our light source is pretty good, but let's drag it over to the left and take a look at what happens to our piece. And notice that when we move our light source over to the left, it lights up to the left. Let's bring that back around to the front. Looks pretty good right there. And notice that the front of our piece lights up. That being said, there's not enough light on the left side of our piece. So how do we fix that? Let's go ahead and hover over to ambient light, and let's change our ambient light from 50%. Let's take it all the way up to 80, see what that looks like. It looks pretty good right there. Let's take it down just a little bit, back down to 75. I think that works just fine. Now we can also change the shading of our piece. Now we're not going to, but I want to show this to you anyway. Let's change our surface from wireframe. You can see what that looks like. Let's go ahead and go to no shading. We've already seen that. Let's move down to diffuse shading. And that looks about exactly the same as plastic shading. So let's go ahead and select that. And we are all set. Now that we've got that done, that looks pretty good. Let's go ahead and click OK. Let's deselect our piece. And yeah, that looks fantastic. And with that, all you need to do, save your piece, maybe print it, maybe create a PDF, send it to your client, and get all kinds of love. Beyond that, yeah, we are done. All right, I lied. What if you're looking at your newly designed package and you realize that something's amiss? You want to change something. How do you do that? Well, it is a piece of cake. All you need to do is select your rectangle, which has become your package, and then open up the appearance window. It's already open, as you can see, and select 3D extrude and bevel. Once you've got that, you can make any changes that you see here. That includes shading, lighting, rotation, or whatever. In this case, let's go ahead and play around with the art that's been positioned. How do we do that? Let's go ahead and select map art. And let's use our first panel as an example. If I want to delete or hide that first panel, all I need to do is select symbol, none. There you go. Our panel is now empty. How do we replace that? Piece of cake, just like we did originally. Let's go back to symbol. We'll select front once again. And there you go. Now, what if we want to change the position of that or rotate it? Well, piece of cake. Let's go ahead and grab our panel and let's move it off to the side just like that. And notice that it's not visible. If we move it halfway on, you can see half of it right there. We can always just try to move it right back. However, if it's the same size, what we can do is we can select scale to fit, and all it will do is reposition it exactly to fit that space. Now, what if we wanted to rotate it? Piece of cake, all we need to do is hover over a corner, wait for our rotate symbol to pop up, and then let's click and rotate. We'll hold our shift key to move things in 45-degree increments, and you can see how it rotates right there. Let's go ahead and bring it back. All we have to do is click and start rotating. Let's hold our shift key. Let's bring it around 90 degrees. Let's release. Let's go ahead and click OK. Let's click OK one more time to close our window. Let's click on our artboard one more time to deselect our rectangle, and we, for sure this time, are done. Nice job. But what if you want to make changes to your final piece? Well, that's a piece of cake. All you need to do is select your piece, open the appearance window, select 3D extrude and bevel, and make your changes from there. You can use a custom rotate, or you can use any of the presets. Once done, click OK, deselect your piece, then save and export. Now that we've got that covered, if you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comments section below. Otherwise, throw me a like. I'd really appreciate that. Otherwise, subscribe. I'd appreciate that just a little bit more. We'll see you next time. Peace.